Jason Rzucidlo reporting for AmericaJR.com. I'm being joined by country star Terri Clark. How are you today?
I am pretty good. How are you?
Very well. So first I want to start off by going back a few years. What was it like growing up in Quebec? Did you have to learn French before English?
I didn't live in Quebec very long, but I did know French when I was in grammar school. I had to take French classes. It was kind of a mandatory thing. And then we moved to Western Canada, and I spent my teenage years, my years from like 9 or 10 until 18 in Western Canada, where they didn't speak French really. So that's as much as that went.
All right. Now I understand your grandparents were also country singers. What advice did they give to you?
They told me it was a very hard business and that I needed to be tough and I needed to really stand my ground. And they mostly just told me how hard the business was because they played at bars, so they saw that more seedy side of it, really. You know, the late nights and the smoke, and they had to do a lot more club and bar singing than I did. I was lucky in that I did some early years at Tootsie's as a single act, with solo with my acoustic guitar, but I avoided a lot of the bar scenes, which I was lucky to do.
Oh, okay. You've had many hit singles over the years. Which one is your favorite to perform?
My favorite to perform? Oh my goodness, that's a loaded question. I have a lot of songs that I really enjoy performing. Better Things to Do, maybe because it was my very first one, and it was the beginning of that whole dream that I dreamt of as a little girl coming true. So every time I sing that song, it makes me go back to like the first year of my career, and it was such a wonderful time.
All right. So I got a question about the music business. Now, why is it that Canadian artists release their album first in Canada and then later on in the U.S.?
Well, they don't usually do that. All of my albums have come out at the same time in both countries, except for this last one, and it was just because I was independent and my Canadian deal came together before my American deal did. And the Canadian side was just anxious to get it out there. So that was the reason why that happened, but usually it doesn't. Next time I'm hoping they coincide better with each other.
Oh.
I wasn't too happy about that.
Oh, okay. Now, your latest album is called The Long Way Home. Can you give us some highlights of that?
Well, I've had a couple of hit singles in Canada called If You Want Fire, and another one's Gypsy Boots. And we're on the third single now. It's called A Million Ways to Run, and it's a song basically about not running away from your problems and issues anymore, and just just dealing with things and staying present instead of escaping using alcohol or gambling or rage or whatever it is that you do to escape, and just staying in your skin and dealing with the hard things in life. And a lot of songs on this album are very, very deep and introspective and personal for me. My mother's been battling cancer, and so a lot of my choices as to what went on this album were reflective of a lot of personal issues.
So how would you say this record is different from some of your previous works?
Like I just said, it's just a lot more personal. The songs on it have much more of a personal connection. My previous work, I was a little more focused on churning out radio hits and radio-friendly tunes that would do well there. And this time around, I wasn't as concerned about that, so my choices were a lot less limited, and I was able to really record things that mattered to me rather than, trying to second-guess what everybody else would like.
All right. So can you give me a preview of your upcoming show on February 19th at the Arc in Ann Arbor?
Well, the show's going to be just me and a guitar on a stool, and I'll be talking a lot. And I've never been to the Arc, but I hear it's just a wonderful venue for this type of show, so I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be signing afterwards at the merchandise table, meeting people. And I'm going to be playing a lot of album cuts from previous albums that never made it as singles, songs that I feel like, should have been. Because there's a lot of my best material, I think, is still laying on albums in album cuts that never made it to the radio, and a lot of people, never got to hear. But I anticipate a lot of people coming to these shows are going to be people who have those albums, so they'll recognize everything I'm playing. I'm going to play a lot of songs from the new album and a few of the hits, too. So I think it's going to be a very different show than anybody's seen me do before. But I started out with just me and a guitar, so there's no reason why I shouldn't do this type of thing. I've been really excited about it.
Sounds very exciting. So you performed twice at the downtown Hoedown in Detroit back in 1999 and in 2006. What are your thoughts on that festival?
Oh, it was huge. I think it was great. I really enjoyed myself. The audience was great. I do really well up in Michigan. I think all of us people who grew up in the snow can relate to each other. But the show I'm doing at the Ark is going to be very different from that show. It's a whole different type of thing.
Do you have any plans that you know of to be at the Hoedown this year?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So I understand you recently performed at the Olympic Torch ceremonies in Medicine Hat and Calgary. What was that experience like for you?
I had to learn how to thaw my fingers out. It's hard to play guitar with frozen fingers, but the weather wasn't too bitterly cold, so I got through it all right. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, there's such a spirit that goes behind the Olympics, and the Olympics being in Vancouver. Canada's very proud, and I'm really just proud to be of it. So I had a really, really nice time doing that, and I got a couple of free Olympic sweatshirts while I was at it.
Oh, that's cool. I attended there was an Olympic Torch ceremony in Windsor, and I covered that one, so that was pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, it is. It's fun, isn't it?
Yes. Any other comments that you'd like to add? Maybe I forgot to mention.
I don't think so. I think you've got just about everything. Just putting out there, that the show is going to be very intimate, small, just me and a guitar. If people are coming to hear all the tongue-in-cheek radio hits like Girls Lie Too, I mean, they'll hear a few of them, but it's not going to be, one after the other. There's going to be a mix and match of album cuts and stuff from the new album, and I may even play, like, old songs I sang at Tipsy's by Patsy Cline or something. It's going to be kind of an off-the-cuff, casual, impromptu feeling kind of thing.
That
Just like I'm sitting in someone's living room.
That sounds very exciting. Thanks a lot for calling, and we look forward to your show.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Copyright 2010, AmericaJR.com, Detroit, Michigan, USA.